Welcome back to Market Day Report. Okay, markets are open, we're trading, and the corn market is already in the red. Actually was in the red in the overnight trade, but slipping 3 pennies. So we open up at 401 3/4 this morning, and the deferred's 2 3/4 to 3 3/4 cents lower. Okay, same story for soybeans, as we've completely lost the 10 handle now in November, January, and March. The front month at 973 1/4, off 6 3/4 cents. Wheat market in overnight session was lower at 2 of the 3 exchanges, including Chicago, which opens down a penny, 584 on the December. And hard red winter wheat was lower in the overnight session, but has moved higher, with December at 590, up a penny and a quarter. July, half penny higher, 621 1/2. And the one that was higher in the overnight session, spring wheat, and it's up too. Last check, 622 3/4. Cotton market, though, was lower overnight and extends the losses. 70.20 on December. That's down 106 points. Well, let's welcome in Tommy Grisafi. Tommy's with Advanced Trading. All right, what are you watching?
Well, all eyes on no beans. They've definitely broken out to the downside versus other things like corn. It was impressive yesterday to see corn be up. It traded close towards the highs a lot of the day, but then with that selling in the beans, definitely took over. Last night when I went to bed, I said, grains are up. Woke up, they were down. They've made new lows. Soybeans, no beans, are only 10, 12 cents away from making new recent lows. We've round tripped. We rallied $1.10. We've now broke close to $1. If you didn't sell anything or protect anything on that rally, as they say in the TV shows, Lucy, you got some explaining to do, or you get what you get. And so there's only so much we could do, Tony. We come on these TV shows, we podcast, we live stream, we do Market Day Report, we do Cow Guy, but I can't jump through that screen and make people call the elevator and make a sale. With that, moving forward, things look tight, because when I look out into the futures curve of both corn and soybeans, we're 425 to 450 corn for multiple years, $10 to $11, actually 10 to 10.50 out in the curve in beans. You add on, and you have experts on your show about fertilizer and what happened with these storms in Florida and et cetera. The high price of inputs is really going to be a thorn in the side to the producer. So we'll keep coming here. We'll keep putting that smiley face on, but we need to take action when we have actionable moves like we did the last few weeks. Back to you, my friend.
Okay, so let's bring up the crude oil. We're moving a little higher here in the morning session, up 20 on November at 70.58. We get an EIA crude oil stocks and gasoline stocks report. So that's what crude looks like. And then gasoline has been moving higher in the overnight session and is higher again this morning. And one more that kind of factors into there when you talk about the input costs, nat gas, and that's moving higher. I guess you're watching those 3 as well.
Yeah, but nat gas was trading with a 3 handle just 5-6 days ago. So this is great news for the farmer, the producer, whether you have some drying costs coming into fall, or you want to get your inputs bought. That is a positive note. I see what you did there. You took all that negativity I did, and you said, but some of your inputs are coming down. I like it, Tony. There's some pluses and minuses. The one thing we have to do is not drop the ball when we get busy at harvest.
Perfect. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk livestock futures. Market Day Report continues after this. It's Market Day Report. Okay, so we're watching a couple of things. One, still further down the road, maybe it's kind of like the exit sign saying exit in 1.5 miles. We'll say it's 1.5 miles down the road for the Cattle on Feed report, which comes out next Friday afternoon after the close. So that's a little further down the road. But export sales maybe 1/2 mile down the road. We get those tomorrow morning. Okay, let's turn now to the livestock futures and live cattle. December, 47 higher, 187.07. What about the feeders? Well, we opened this morning up $1.57 on November at 247.07. Obviously, expecting cash cattle to start moving this afternoon, possibly tomorrow. What will it be? Will it be higher? And will we see $2 higher? December hogs continue to move higher, 77.97. That's up 27. Maybe to answer some of those questions, Tommy Grisafi with Advanced Trading. Okay, cash cattle, any thoughts?
You know, we have an election in 19 days, and I've been watching the polls. And as the polls change, it feels to me, I'm gonna go back and touch on soybeans real quick, and then tie it into cattle. But as the polls change, and it looks like currently today, it can change by the minute, that former President Trump's starting to really break out. And I notice every time his polls improve by a point or two, beans go down 10 cents. Now, maybe those two aren't correlated, but he does like to throw out the word tariffs. So I'll pose a question to our viewers and listeners. If President Trump is the next president, what will that do to the cattle market, and to the hog market? We export product. We also import product. What will that look like? There could be some serious risk as we come into the election. Find an option or find an LRP program or something that gets you hedged out to the next 60 days in the meat complex. This is advice. Try to find a safety vest or a safety raft. As you know, there can be panic when the markets go down, Tony.
Yes, and again, we can look at the dairy market as well. That's been one of those where we have seen demand pretty strong from China on some of our dairy products. And at last check, Class 3 milk futures are ticking a bit higher here this morning.
Yeah. You know, I found a great milk podcast, and next time I'm on your show, I'm going to tell you and the viewers and listeners about it. I can't remember the exact wording, but how fascinating that world is of dairy. 2 weeks ago, you were in Wisconsin for the Dairy Expo. Real quick before we go on break, what was the number one thing you learned at the Dairy Expo, Tony?
The number one thing I learned, drink more milk.
I like it. Good answer. Good answer. Good answer. No one's going to stump you during the interview process.
Yeah, drink more milk. Tommy Grisafi's with Advanced Trading. And Tommy, thanks for popping in today. And again, speaking of milk, we've got a couple of dairy reports set to come out next week as well.